Guys, forget about the countdown. We'll forget about the countdown because the update's here. It's come a little bit early, but it's here. I'm just patching in right now, 32 gigabytes out of 41 gigabytes. So I reckon in about maybe 40 seconds, I'll be able to launch Assetto Corsa EVO. How are you getting on? 2 streams in a row on two consecutive days for Traction. So there we go. That's a new record for us. But I'm enjoying being on the channel. We're often doing streaming rather than just videos. It's been really, really good fun so far. And we're here today for more of the same. But this time, it's Assetto Corsa EVO, which is dropping a new update today. Its first new kind of major update since they fixed the missions mode and the online mode and all that kind of stuff. Hello, Tom. Hello, Adam. Hello, Baseman. How are you all getting on? We're 95% there now. So yeah, this is an Assetto Corsa EVO update. The one we knew was coming based on the roadmap as well. This is the first content drop. We have 2 new cars, a new track, new special events, and maybe some other updates as well. So it's actually live right now. So I'm going to hit play straight away. We'll get launched, and we'll show it. Oh, lovely to have you on, Adam. I really, really appreciate it. That means a lot. Yeah, obviously we've been, putting out weekly videos for a long time. There's a bit of a gap in the middle at the start of last year while there was some stuff happening behind the scenes and a change of ownership and all this kind of stuff. But we're really properly getting into the live streaming now more regularly. And I'm just really glad that you're finding our videos helpful, and I very much appreciate your support. We actually have another Beginner's Guide coming out tomorrow as well, Beginner's Guide Part 3. So if you're enjoying that series at the moment, then stay tuned for that. Yeah, we don't talk about the gap. Sorry, Tom. Sorry. Right, anyway. Game. Things are happening. Oh, you can't see anything. You can in a second. Hopefully. There it is. So this is the roadmap, which comes up every time you launch the game. And you can see, content drop 1, you are here. So there it is. We have 2 new cars. The Lancia Delta, or HF Delta Integrale Evoluzione 2. I butchered that. That's one of the cars. And then we also have the Lamborghini Huracan STO as well. So 2 cars we're going to try today. And the track is Fuji Speedway. So that's cool. I'm not wearing a shirt. It's because I'm saving all of my shirts for next week's filming. Just in case. Just in case. So yeah, anyway, 19th of February, you can also see here the second early access release coming soon, 5 new cars, Circuit of the Americas, all that kind of stuff, but we're going to focus on today's one. Rich, yes we do. Yes we do. Myself, Tom, and Tom, probably the 3 of us, will have a sit down and a chat again, hopefully next week actually. It won't necessarily come out next week, but we're going to try and get it filmed next week. And we're going to relaunch the podcast at some point. There's a little bit of a break at the moment. We're testing the waters. We got obviously a bunch of episodes out weekly for a while. Then Christmas happened. We decided to take a little pause, and hopefully we can get back to that pretty soon. We have a bit of a plan in the works, so please do keep your eye on that one. Don't worry, the podcast will be back. The format might change slightly. There might be a few tweaks here and there, but obviously we're just working out what's good. And the 3 of us sitting down and chat will definitely be happening again. Okay, right. Let's have a look then. Will we just have a look at the cars first? Will we just have a look at the new cars? Let's go straight to the dealership. You can be a guest on the podcast anytime. Anytime. We might not publish it, but you can come and chat with us. Lancia, there it is. The new brand. There is the Delta HF Integrale Evoluzione 2. This is the last iteration of the Lancia Delta. So this is obviously the road-going homologation special version of the final iteration of the Lancia Delta rally car, which was dominating Group A before it was, I guess, it became a bit older, and then it was even under private running, it was still competitive, but obviously Lancia pulled out after that. We've got 2 versions available of the car. Standard. We've got limited editions here as well, different colours. We're going to have a look at all this stuff, of course. 150,000 credits. Good thing I've got 871,000, so we can definitely buy it. I actually was hammering out the missions this morning just to make sure. Got all my licenses in check, because obviously when I did it the first time on stream, it was during the kind of beta test, so nothing actually saved. So yeah. What color will I buy? And I'm liking the yellow. Giallo Ginestra. Let's have a look at some of the options though if we go to configure. So, if I can move the camera, if I can remember how it actually works. There is a way you can... Oh yeah, it's not centered for some reason. Let's just change the scene option actually. No, we don't want that. Let's go for Arctic, that'll do. There's the pretty car. I love the Lancia Delta. It's going to be really interesting as well to see how it compares to the Escort Cosworth, because those are two road-going versions of Group A rally cars. So we'll maybe do a lap time comparison of the two later on, once we've got into the crux of it. So parts-wise, you've got EVO 3 suspension. Oh, you can see it lower down. That's pretty cool. So we're definitely going to go EVO 3 suspension. EVO 3 engine and EVO 3 differential. So does this actually change the statistics, I wonder? That's exciting. So we've got all... I tell you what, we'll go normal spec right now, but we'll maybe revisit that and we'll see if it makes a difference. You can see it definitely lowers the car, so maybe it opens up some more setup options and stuff. Wheel-wise, we have just the classic Speedline forged wheels, and you can choose silver or graphite. Proper rally wheels as well. Love that. Interior option, it looks like we've just got fabric colors at the moment. Yellow straw or black. Oofed. But we've got different segments as well, different parts of the trim. Interesting. I need to play around with Assetto Corsa EVO more in order to actually know exactly what I'm doing here, rather than just kind of clicking buttons and seeing what it does. But the game's in early access. There's a lot for us to learn. Colors-wise, obviously, we've picked our special edition, so that's what we're going with. Should we buy this car, then? 150,000. If I add the EVO 3 parts, I want to see what that actually does. Does it change the cost? Let's apply that. No, cost is all the same, so I'm hoping we can kind of... Maybe it's just the visuals. I don't know. I'm reading the chat in case any of you guys know more about this than I do. We'll have to wait and see. We'll keep the EVO 3 upgrades. Let's just confirm that. Let's buy it. Let's do it. It needs the one random red door. Yeah. Slight difference between this car and the one from the In-Betweeners. Slight difference. And let's take a look at the Lamborghini. So we're going to drive the Lancia in a second around the new track as well, Fuji Speedway. But let's take a look at the Lamborghini. There it is, the Huracan STO. Between 310 and 312,000 virtual credits. You can buy different... Oh, nice. Livery packages as well. There you go. So the price difference is just for some graphics. That's looking awesome. We're gonna delve into that in a little bit. But right now we'll focus on the Lancia. We'll come back and buy that later on. Don't worry. So, we're going to jump in and drive Fuji. The one other thing I want to see first, because this is what you guys might be waiting to find out about, is the new special events. So, actually, if I click refresh, that was the existing special events, I'm pretty sure. All 6 of these were already available. If I click refresh, looks like we've not got different special events yet, unless I'm misremembering them. I think this was the 6 we had originally. And I'm not seeing any page options. So, and they're all hot stints. So, actually... Maybe we don't have new special events just yet. We'll have to wait and see. But you guys can keep me up to date on that as well, if you hear of anything whilst I'm driving. So, let's see Fuji Speedway. There it is. So we've got the full GP layout, which was the circuit used in Formula 1, 2007, 2008. Obviously an iconic Japanese circuit, famous within the world of Gran Turismo, with all of its older layouts as well. This is obviously the modern iteration. And then we've got the GP short layout, which bypasses the awkward little chicane around about the middle of the lap. So, 2 different layout versions. We're going to go for the full GP layout because it's the one that's probably most commonly used. and we're just going to jump into a practice session and see how we get on. I'm just going to bump up the time. I'm not expecting to spend a huge amount because I obviously want to go and test other cars as well. But let's just do a afternoon session, and we'll play around with time of day a little later on as well. But yeah, let us know where you're watching this from. Hopefully you're enjoying the more regular streaming on the channel. Mixture of things like this where we test out new content, test out updates, test out new games, and obviously also some proper ranked racing and things like that as well. Is it mostly just road cars for now? No. I would say it's more... Yeah, there's more road cars than race cars, but at the moment there are already, like, I think 5 or 6 race cars. So there are both. You obviously need to be able to save up a bit of money and get your licenses to get the race cars. But you can test drive them. Just having a quick look to see if there's any EVO 3 settings here I can see. Electronics-wise, I mean, have we got traction control? I mean, it would be surprising, but I'll have a look in a minute. We can obviously change that once we get on the road. We've got Eco, Road, or Supercar, so it's giving us road tyres, so we'll stick with that. And there are some aero adjustments. You can adjust the rear wing angle. What rear wing? Who knows? Let's get on track, shall we? We've got viewers from New Zealand, Spain, Norway. Excellent stuff. Right. Let's do some driving. How does it sound? Ooh. Sounds pretty throaty. I like it. Tell me, by the way, if the audio is too quiet on the car, is too loud. Oh, it's too... Oh. I'm so glad I spotted that. How's that? Is that loud enough, or is that too quiet? Let me have a wee look. I think that should be loud enough by now. Yeah, there we go. Sorry for the mute, guys. That's that's on me. I forgot to unmute when I started the stream. So you've got a slight bark, which is what you expect from the proper Lancia Delta, and then yeah, that's really, really good. I think the sounds on Assetto Corsa EVO don't always make the cars sound the most beautiful, but they're actually pretty realistic, I think, because obviously when you're in the cockpit of a car, and I can attest to this when I'm racing as well with a helmet on and stuff, the cockpit of a car is quite often muted compared to, you know, obviously the exhaust note that would come from it. I've already sped in the pit lane, that's a good start. So we'll do a little bit of a wee guide of Fuji Speedway. So you've got a hairpin right to start the lap, lots of runoff area on the left-hand side. The beautiful mountain ranges nearby. Mount Fuji's, I think, over to the right. You've got the run down the hill towards this fast left-hander, turn 2. And to get my shifter configured as well. So it's this is the left-hander I've turned in too late. That's the corner where the car was drifting in the trailer. And you've got this big, long, sweeping right-hander. There's Mount Fuji, I believe, with the snow on top. That's pretty cool. And then braking down to second gear for this left-hand hairpin. Loads and loads of space here. Really, really wide circuit. Lots of room on the exit. So even though it's a tight corner, you can open up the taps quite early on. And you've got a flat-out run here through a right kink. I'm going to have to get my my shifter configured in a second. And then this is the braking zone. This is the chicane that you can choose to bypass if you go for the other layout. So it's a tight right, and then an immediate tight left, and then straight back over to the right. And then you're into this kind of final flowing section. If you've never seen Robert Kubica versus Felipe Massa in 2007 at the end of that race, go and look it up on YouTube after, because this section is famous for that particular moment in Formula 1. But lots of overtaking opportunities in online races, lots of cutbacks. You may well be, of course, familiar with this track if you've been playing a lot of Le Mans Ultimate recently. And then you're out wide for the last hairpin, and then all the way in, over the curb on the inside, and then powering out. This Lancia, of course, four-wheel drive as well, so don't need to worry about too much oversteer. going to be more concerned about understeer, but the car is obviously track focused, being a homologation special essentially. And that's it. That's Fuji Speedway, a massive final straight as well. So, before I start my first flying lap, hang on, if I can pause it, that would really help. There we go. I'm just going to assign my gears. Now, I actually don't have a clutch pedal on at the moment, so what I'll probably do, I would go H pattern, but I think, because I don't have a clutch, I'm going to assign it to sequential just for now. So, bear with me. So yeah, what do you think of the track? It looks great, doesn't it? Obviously, we're one lap in, so we'll do a bit more. Well, that's not right. We'll do a bit more analysis shortly. Right, sequential shifter. I'm going to end up knocking my microphone here, but make it a bit higher. Okay, so let's see what the car and track are capable of a little bit with a few hot laps. Obviously need to work out my braking points. So I'm going to brake at the start of the curb. Okay, we're not going to brake at the start of the curb. A little bit earlier. Little bit earlier. Okay, for this fast left, it's kind of a dab the brakes down one gear. I missed the curb completely, so it's a kind of almost a blind apex there, really. The corner comes up at you quite quickly. Then here you want to kind of stay to the inside, let the car run a little wide in the middle, I guess, and then get back on the power, back to the inside. You're probably going to run a bit wide here. Stick over to the right-hand side and immediately start braking in a straight line for the hairpin. Get it in, two wheels on the white and red curb, flatter all the way out, and then use the exit curb on the right. I'm getting questions as well for frame rate. I've just seen that question come in. I actually, interestingly, I was playing this game this morning just to make sure it was up and running, just to kind of reacquaint myself with it a little bit, because it's been quite a while actually since I jumped on the game. Obviously, there was all the hype at the very beginning, and then I've given it a little bit of time to sort of, you know, just a little bit of settling and reflection. And when I jumped back on the game this morning, I actually thought performance-wise it was slightly better. The game was running pretty smooth for me going through the missions. Obviously, it was just missions, but everything felt pretty clean. I did have a couple of wee glitches and things, but FPS and stuff was pretty strong. So I need to test it against AI and see if that's any better, really, but I haven't yet seen the update log from this update, because obviously we've just jumped straight in. So if you want any information about what the update includes, be sure to check out the Traxion website, because all of the changes should be there, and maybe some of my colleagues will jump in the chat with me a little later on, and we can talk through the changes whilst I'm driving around. So yeah, it's feeling a bit more, I think it's feeling slightly more polished in general than it was, which is not surprising. Obviously day one is never the best time to draw any full conclusions. You just begin to draw first impressions, of course. Right, braking before the curb. So there's a little runoff tarmac area just before it, so that's probably going to be too early. Yeah, so it's definitely closer to the curb than the tarmac, so we'll bear that in mind. Yeah, we'll have to see. Obviously, the update's out for everyone, which is good, so everyone can jump in and test with their own hardware and see what the FPS is like. But for me, when I'm driving on my own, it's actually fine on most tracks, but I've got a strong PC. All the specs are in the description, so you can see what specs I'm running. I've not had a problem, really. It's when it's raining or when there's AI cars is when it tends to be difficult. But the game in general is just feeling okay at the moment. It's running okay. I just think as well that the road cars are still... The road cars, I think the handling's really, really strong. I really like the physics and the force feedback. It's actually, for me, the racing cars that are kind of letting the side down a little bit at the moment relative to a lot of its competitors. They still don't feel quite right. Not terrible, but just not the best. But for road cars, it's really strong. Getting into the flow a little bit around here. Down to second gear, you want to stay out wide at the start and then come back in across. I can probably carry a bit more speed on the way in and then work out what to do in the exit. Again, you want to be a bit wide here, probably not that wide. and just maximize your exit speed over the curb. It's probably the slowest car I've ever driven around Fuji because it's such a big circuit. I think it's looking resplendent though. Car's really easy to drive, so it's a great car to jump into if you're kind of more on the newer side of your sim racing journey. Four-wheel drive gives you that confidence. It's not super powerful, but at the same time it doesn't feel crazy slow. It's a bit slow for this track. But it's just, you know, it's just a great handling car. 2 minutes 6. Thank you, Tom. Other Tom will be proud. Still can't get this corner. Every time I'm missing that corner. Every time. So that's something we need to work on. The surrounding area is looking nice in my opinion. I'm glad they've got the snow-covered mountains up there. The detail on those kind of foresty trees up there. Foresty trees? Foresty mountains are looking good. You've got spectators on the right, so a bit of atmosphere. Curbs are all looking good. Road surface is looking good. It feels quite wide at the moment, the track. And I'm guessing that's just because I'm driving a road car around here. I've never really had so much time to take it all in, apart from when I'm playing like Gran Turismo 4 or something. I think this chicane is first gear in this car. Flat through the left. See if we can test the track limits as well. I haven't really done that yet, so I don't know if it's actually on strict. I need to actually push the limits of it like this and see what happens. Yeah, okay, so track cuts are on. This is the tricky one. Lionized, exactly. Oh dear. Right, we'll do a couple more laps and then we're going to jump in the Lamborghini. Give that a blast. And what I want to do is I want to compare this to the Escort Cosworth. I want to see which is quicker. I think the Escort, but I want to see how close the Lancia will be. We'll maybe pick a smaller track for that. And then we'll also take a look and see if there's new special events. We'll see if there's any more updates as well. And we'll do some racing around Fuji with the AI and see if they're any better than some of the AI racing I've experienced so far in this game. Right, braking about there. I've got ABS working. Oh yes, that's the one. Didn't quite make the apex, but... So you're braking just before that curb starts in the Lancia. This is the corner I keep missing, so I'm going to try and brake a little earlier. Get turned in a bit earlier. There it is. That's the apex I've been looking for. Yeah, I will check the leaderboards and see when we're on the menu, because that's something I haven't actually explored yet today. And obviously this update might change a few other things. We are expecting, you know, we know that there's 2 new cars, there's a new track, and there's new special events, but we're still not sure about other stuff until we see the patch notes, really. Yeah, we still need to work out what else has been done, if anything. Oh yes, this is such a friendly car to drive, and it's just very cool as well. Damn, it's track limits. Okay, try chucking it in a bit more there. Instantly in a flow with the circuit though, it feels, which is nice. Going a little bit wide every time up through there. Okay, one more lap and then we'll explore some of the other stuff. We'll look at the options on the Lamborghini. There's also, I want to check some other stuff with this Lancia too, actually, about, there's no engine modes. I mean, it's a 1990s car, early 90s car, so I can't change any performance mode, engine modes, dash modes, obviously, because it just doesn't have them. I've got no traction control as well that I can fiddle with. Again, old car. I do have ABS, and I've got brake bias, of course, adjustments, which makes complete sense. You can feel the car kind of fishtailing slightly under braking, but it's all manageable and under control. You can feel the weight pitch to the front, and it gives you a bit more confidence actually about the turn-in. You feel like you're going to get the car turned in without many issues, or without any issues really, unless you're driving it badly. So it's like a kind of weird feeling of like having the pitch and having that kind of momentum shift, which sometimes can be a bit scary, but in this car it's just confidence inspiring. It's just like, it feels like a rally car for the road, which is exactly what it is. And any of you who watch traction videos regularly will know how much we are fans of rallying on this channel. Patch note does say added new special events. Yeah, so we knew the special events were coming, but I just didn't see them when I first launched the game, so I'll need to check that again, because they should be there. And if they're not there now, they should be there at some point today, you would think. Keep 2 wheels on the tarmac, and then track limits are not a problem. So that's, I think, the thing with Fuji, really. There's lots of curbs that you can abuse, and it's all about knowing where you can and can't abuse them. I think it's just about keeping 2 wheels on the black stuff at all points, really, in terms of track limit warnings. That's better. All the way in. Yeah. This last lap's been a bit better. Can we keep it in for the last corner? Huge improvements to be found there. But really, really enjoying the flow of Fuji. No mention of leaderboard. Interesting. So bug fixes. Alright, okay. So new special events, new cars, a new track, and bug fixes. So there's not really too much we can dive into in terms of new stuff. But it's a good excuse to get back on the game anyway. Yeah, it's a tricky corner, isn't it? 2:04.4. That's the time. So I'll need to come back in the escort and see if we can beat that later. It's a good question. I'll let you be the judge of whether I'm a sim racing YouTuber or not. Let's have a quick look at the replay just to see what the replay angles are like. What was the last lap? 14. What? There we go. 13 minutes, something like that. Let's just see how it's looking. You can see actually, sorry, just there, you can see that kind of fishtailing thing I was talking about. So watch the car moving under braking. You can see the front, the nose dive down, and you can just see how hunkered it is. And you'll see the back just start to move a little bit. There it is, and then in. That looks awesome. Let's get rid of my stupid face. There you go. Pitching it in, chucking the car. Drivatar looking very cool. Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? It's just the style of car. It's the era of car. I think it's probably the Stage 3 or Evo 3 pack that I put on it, I guess. But that's something we need to dive into more. Yeah, suspension 100%. I'm really impressed by the suspension simulation. It is great, and I could like. This is probably one of the best examples of how that feels. That first little session there, maybe 5-6 laps, I could really sense that. I could feel the car moving around. It gave me so much confidence, but it still felt alive. Like safe and alive. So two great things when you're driving a racing car. Being alive and being safe. Or the car being alive and you being safe at least. But yeah, it's looking good, isn't it? I think visually this is looking good as well. I like the replay angles. You can see how wide the track is. Lots of time to be found, of course. Just so many big, wide open corners with racing line options and racing. You know, if we're racing road cars around here, I mean, there's going to be so many sends, there's going to be so many cutbacks, all sorts of stuff. That last corner was nowhere near the apex. Yes, I believe so, Nutrilicious. I think it is only a timeline and a play pause button. So yeah, you can see here, I can drag it along. You can change camera views and stuff to the driving cameras. In fact, I can probably do that if I remember what buttons I've assigned to it, which I can't right now. Anyway, that's that. So there you go. Let's jump in the Lamborghini, shall we? Give it a little blast and see what options we've got. I'll do a quick check of the special events too, just in case there's been an update. So, special events. Oh, here we are. There they are. So we will get on some of those later on. We've got 6 new events. They're all hot stints. We've got the Huracan at Suzuka. We've got the Delta at Fuji, so we could, in the drizzle, so four-wheel drive is going to come in handy, so we can maybe give that one a try as well. You can't quite see it there. In fact, I'll show you very quickly. SE10 down the bottom left is the Lotus Emira at Imola. That's an awesome, awesome combo, so I definitely want to look into that one. You've then got SE09, which is the GR86 at Laguna. I'm a bit, not disappointed, but it's a bit of a shame, I think, that at the moment it's just hot stints. I'd quite like to see a bit of variety maybe in the special events. And obviously, until there's a proper leaderboard working, all you can do really is take a note of your time and maybe compare it to friends. There's limitations as to why you would even do special events at this stage. It's obviously implementing a feature that's going to become more useful in time. And I wonder if the leaderboard times that are set now will be saved for when leaderboards are actually in. I really don't know. So maybe it is just like collating a bunch of times. So yeah, I think I will actually, because we can obviously drive it at Fuji again in a little bit. But we've just done Fuji, so let's maybe do the Huracan at Suzuka hot stint to kind of learn the car. Also, 488 challenge at Mount Panorama. That's always going to be fun. And then the Volkswagen Golf at Brands GP. Nah. Can't be bothered with that one. Right, let's do that. Hope you're enjoying the beginner's guide, Slam Jester. And yeah, 100%. Body roll is great. GR86 is good, and also the Alpine A110S is awesome. I was doing the missions again this morning, as I was saying earlier, and I did the end of the first set of missions is the Alpine in Brands Hatch GP, and it's more powerful than like the regular Alpine or a GR86, for example, but it still handles like one and is enjoyable like one. So for me, that's just an awesome combination. A bit more power and a bit more go, but with the same kind of enjoyable feeling, the same chuckiness, I would say. You can chuck it around. Chuckiness is not a good word. Chuckability. Okay, I think I can actually... The shifters don't need reassigned, because I think they're there. We will go and buy this Huracan in a little minute and look at the dealership, but right now, let's just do the hot stint around Suzuka as a way of trying it out. Leaderboard is there. Ah! Guys, leaderboard. Was that working before? I haven't actually explored that. But there is a leaderboard there with a number of laps. Francesco Cardullo, 4 laps, 8 minutes 42, and a couple of other attempts. That's really interesting. So, okay, maybe I'll actually give this a proper go. See what happens. Let's explore. And I do apologize if that was already there and it's just not working properly. I do apologize. I've not really. That's one thing I haven't tested. So. Okay, so paddle shifts are working. We've got Trofeo mode. Okay, so I'm changing the engine mode. You can actually see on the dashboard, just above, basically just left of the gear indicator in the middle there, that we've got different modes. So you've got a blue mode that I can't quite read. Pioggia, STO mode, and Trofeo mode. So we're obviously going to go Trofeo mode. We've got TC1, ABS1. We'll have a play around with that as well. So, first Lamborghini at Suzuka. Let's see if it handles like the road car that it is, or the race car that it tries to be. 7th gear already. I'm going to brake early because I don't know how much grip and downforce I've got. Yeah, definitely played it a bit safe. And then we are clearly a road car, which on Assetto Corsa EVO is a good thing. First lap I'm going to do with traction control on, just as the game kind of has a standard, and then I'll turn it off and have a bit of fun. After the first lap. It's 20 minutes, this hot stint. Okay, it feels great. It feels great. Road cars feel good in this game, and it's the weightiness, the suspension feel. I can feel the downforce working as well. It's got a couple of bits of aero on this car. Still, obviously, a road car, so it's heavy, and it doesn't have the kind of the directness or obviously the kind of light nature of a race car. But the dynamics are just brilliant. Like I can really feel it working away underneath me, and I can feel the kind of the tools that are in place to make it feel more like a race car for the owners, if that makes sense. It's kind of trying to bridge the gap a little bit like the Ferrari, the road-going Ferrari does. A race-bred road car, but I'm nowhere near flat through there. Way too early on the brakes. Into spoon curve. So yeah, you have to treat this car with a lot of respect in terms of speed. You cannot go in too quickly to the corners because you will just understeer, but the downforce and the grip does come when you turn, you know, maybe more so than you would expect at times, so it's proper balance. Okay, we're going to take 130R in 4th on lap 1, maybe 5th, yeah, 5th definitely. Use the ABS. Don't know if you can hear that, but the SimUcube active pedal is rattling around like crazy. Okay, traction control's got to come off now. Alright. TC off. Let's have a bit of fun. I'll get the volume. I'll get the volume up. We'll pause it at the end of this lap and we'll turn the volume up. I could just mute myself as well. That might make it easier. Alright, let's get this thing sideways a little bit. Understeer. Getting out the hairpins with the throttle rather than the steering wheel. That's what we like to see. I feel like I'm working out so much more than I was about 5 minutes ago driving that Lancia around Fuji. Bit of throttle on the way out here again. Yes. So, oh, they fixed the delta as well, that's good. Good spot. I did see a comment saying that the Porsche 911 Cup car feels the worst of the race cars, and I honestly would have to agree with that. I think it's the most disappointing relative to other sims. Just not getting a good feeling with it at all. Alright, we'll turn the volume up on this. If I can pause it. Okay, it lets me pause it. That's a good start. Wow, what an excellent car. It's honestly surprised me. Right, I've turned up by a decent amount. I recommend when you jump in this car, try it with the TC first to get used to it, but then if you're comfortable, just turn it off because it changes the dynamics so much. Alright, let's go. Hang on. Hopefully that's a bit louder for you guys. I think the pause works because it's a hot stint, so I'm not racing against anyone live, I'm racing against the clock, so pausing makes sense in that environment. Hopefully it didn't actually just continue counting down the clock. I don't think it did. 2:08 lap time. You really have to think your way through the corners because I'm so used to driving race cars around tracks like Suzuka. So it's a whole different way of driving, different braking points. Corners that are normally flat out are now big lifts, like here. 2 bites at the apex there. Gonna move the mic away. Oh, 130R is 5th gear. Wouldn't want to go any harder than that, really. Let's go lap time chasing now. All the lights on the dashboard are on. Traction control's off. No ESC. Electronic stability control. 208 is what we're going for. Oh no, I looked at the wrong time. Come on, keep it in track limits. No. That's probably going to give us a penalty in hot stint mode. I was thinking about too many other things going into the braking zone. It happened so quickly because the car's a rocket ship in a straight line. So much fun. This is, at this point, this is Assetto Corsa EVO at its best. Jumping in a Delta Integrale around Fuji with that kind of stability, the weight transfer, picking out your lines, thinking about all those things, and then jumping into this, and it also feeling like it's just been brilliantly worked on in terms of the physics. Feeling like it's alive, feeling like you can wrestle it, but equally I'm kind of doing realistic things with it to make it actually do what I want it to do. And just hot lapping, that's what this is at the moment. It's a hot lapping sim. I can't see 130R anymore because of the sun. Okay, illegal lap. Didn't gain anything from it though. 207 is it? 207.8. Looking forward to like track day style things on ACEVO as well. Obviously free roam's going to be cool, but imagine like a track day around here, everyone's turned up in their different hypercar and you're just like, you know, battling each other. Different cars with their different strengths and weaknesses. Oh, Roland on the ropes is back. Hey David. Two traction streams in 2 days, would you believe it? Unheard of. Obviously, I would be doing more kind of analysing different modes and looking at different options right now, but because we're doing a hot stint first, I'm just focused on the driving and having fun. We'll get into the dealership stuff later. Yeah, no streams tomorrow. There is a video coming out tomorrow, new beginner's guide, but no streams. You're taking 130R at 200 kilometers an hour in this car. That's the speed that you reach in the Lancia at Fuji on the main straight. Right, 9 minutes to go. Yeah, everyone's different, Paul, I think. Like, obviously that's going to make this game stand out from some of its competitors. Also, I just think having a kind of sim that also has lots of road cars in it is another thing that makes it stand out, because we haven't seen many of those at all since Assetto Corsa, the original. But obviously free roam's another thing that just gives it another area that other people will be interested in. I'm certainly looking forward to it. I enjoy my Forza Horizon and things like that. I would love a kind of Horizon-style game with an element of free roaming, but with more serious physics. So I'm looking forward to it, but it's obviously not for everyone. Same as the kind of road car, race car debate, I guess. See if we can set an early time on this leaderboard. Don't know what happens with the cup track though. Did have one invalid lap. This is a workout as well. Yeah, TC off. It's the car just comes alive with no TC. I think it's quicker if you get it right. I think it's going to be quicker with TC off. But obviously the default is it on, and I mean that's the sensible thing if you're driving this in real life and you're not racing it. But we're not here for sensible. We don't play sim racing games to be sensible. So yeah, very weighty steering, lots and lots of feel what the car's doing underneath me. I've got a lot of confidence in it, but I also feel like I don't know its limits yet. Like T1 I can brake later for sure. There's a couple of other ones like that, but middle of the corner I feel like I can get the power on nice and early and just hold the oversteer on the way out of the corner very deliberately. So chuck it is actually quite chuckable, and I think that's maybe partly to do with the aero, the tyres, just the general setup, the mechanical grip, but also just the confidence that the feel's giving me. The force feedback feels very, very responsive. It feels very on point. I can trust it. Oh, that was terrible, but that was me. But at the same time, if I you know took the mick too much, I would definitely be going off. And I'm not driving it very fast, relatively. I'm definitely giving up lap time for smiles, like there. This has got the kind of hypercar tyres on it at the moment, and there are like road car sports tyres and there's hypercar tyres. I think this is the tyres that the manufacturer would have you using on a track day, for example. I don't know if they'd be road legal. Quite possibly. But they're definitely performance track focused tyres for sure. Maybe with an element of road legality to them, but just not recommended. Who knows? Maybe it's just the tyres that the cars have on the road as well. But it's the hypercar compound anyway. Oh, that was close. Oh yeah, I don't know why the delta's not there. That's a very good point. I didn't even notice it had gone. Maybe it was a button I pressed, but I don't think I was pressing buttons earlier. That was before I started, so I'm not sure. Good spot. I hadn't even noticed. That was better. Try and get the back around a little bit in the last corner to get out of it. I am now pressing buttons. I'm going to regret this. No. So I don't think that was me that did that. Okay, that's later on the brakes into T1. 4 minutes to go, guys, or 5 minutes. Two sideways there. .206.99 is our fastest lap. Oh, what's happened there? Hello? I think I just turned the pit lane speed limiter on, but I didn't think I touched a button. I thought the car had died. That's a shame. Anyway, it lost like a couple of seconds. I was so confused. It's like an arcade machine when you hit game over. I don't even know what button that was. I'm not gonna press all the buttons. Yeah, it is definitely solid. It is solid fun. The analysis has sort of gone out the window. I tried to give a little bit of a summary there on the last lap, and I'm just having fun with it at this point. I want to try and get it more sideways through the S's. Got 3 minutes to go, so what's that, 2 laps maybe? You can definitely beat me with a mouse. I thought this car was going to be more sedate, which sounds ridiculous because it's a Huracan STO, but what I mean by sedate is I thought it was going to be a little bit more sensible and safe, and I thought the downforce would stop it being quite as excitable in the rear. I just thought it was going to be one of those kind of like numbed down, like, oh, this is a performance-focused road car, and it's not, you know, I didn't expect it to be so kind of willing to be, I don't know, thrown around, I guess. Right, last lap. I'll maybe just go for. I'll go for a lap time. I'll stop. I mean, I'll probably go slower, but I'll stop chucking it around quite as much, and I'll try and aim to beat that fastest lap. 2:06.9. Right, lap 10, so it's a 10 lap hot stint. That's 2:06.5, that was the fastest lap so far. Tidier first sector for sure. Should be quicker. That was not too bad. Little bit too throttle happy on the exit. Cost a bit of time. Didn't need short shift. I think it's going to be a low 206 if I play my cards right in the last chicane. It is too loose for a Lambo, but I mean, I don't think you're going to drive it like this in real life unless you're like a, you know, if you're an instructor that's trying to have a fun day out and trying to maybe get some clients sideways, maybe you drive it like this, but It's not what this car's for, really. So with TC off and stuff, I mean, most people that would drive this in real life, obviously, the default settings will be a bit of traction control, so I think it probably could be this loose if you turned off the electronics. But it still feels really good physics-wise, like really realistic in terms of the actual dynamics of it. 205.7 there with a more lap time focused lap at the end. Oh man, that's so good. So good. Let's see if leaderboards are actually a thing. I should have maybe bought the car first because it's actually cost us money, that, probably because we loaned the car, but we got some XP. It was this loose. Well, there you go. See. So the car. Oh, I can't view the replay, unfortunately. But yeah, the car is that loose if you have the settings done correctly. Are we on the leaderboard? No. I think it's still a bit broken. 842.519, 4 laps. We've obviously done, what, 10 laps? And we're not showing up. I do wonder if it's because we... I don't know why that is, to be honest, because obviously you should have to do 10 laps, surely, to get on the leaderboard, so... Hey, maybe the leaderboard's still broken, but I don't want to say that for sure. Obviously, we'll keep an eye out. But it's there. Just don't know quite how it's working. Yeah, unfortunately, replay doesn't work. I was going to show you a little bit of a replay lap, just because just to see what it looked like from the outside, but we don't have it. So I'll maybe do it at Fuji instead. We'll take a look at Fuji in different light. Yeah, I think hot stint mode does show race time, but that's kind of what it should do. Yeah, it's a hot stint rather than a hot lap competition. So it's a combination of all your laps combined, or it's a total. I guess it's how quickly you do a certain number of laps. So it'll be the top of the leaderboard will be the person that completes the most laps, but obviously you'll have a bunch of people that all complete the same number of laps, and then I think it's split from that point as to who did it in the shortest amount of race time, basically. So that's why the race time's relevant, if that makes sense. Wow, I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed. That is ACEVO at its best, with all of its current issues of early access and its flaws and its lack of features and its bad performance at times, its AI issues, all that stuff. That was great. That was just so much fun. So just a reminder as well, if you've just joined, these are the 6 new special events. So the Huracan at Suzuka we just did. You've got Fuji in the damp, in the drizzle, in the Lancia. The GR86 at Laguna, that's going to be a good one. And then obviously Mount Panorama, the Golf at Brands Hatch, and the Lotus Emira at Imola, which I'm going to love doing too. What I'm going to do though, I'm actually going to jump in an old hot stint. So I'm going to go in Mount Panorama Porsche. I'm not going to race this right now. I just want to check the leaderboard to see if it's actually showing anything. To see if any, because I did this hot stint, well actually no, that was before an update. I'm just thinking that people might have done, this leaderboard will have built up if it's been working in the background. But yeah, you can see there are some names on there. So the top 2 are the only people that have apparently done it and done 10 laps worth. So then it goes down to fastest race time. But that just seems, that's definitely broken. So I don't know if there's much you can read into it, because no one's done 10 laps in 10 minutes. So yeah, like, we're just going to have to leave that for now and work it out. Work it out later. Shall we go buy a Lamborghini and actually look at the options in the dealership? Okay, Lamborghini. So you can see there's a slight difference in cost just adding that kind of blue package, I guess, the STO stickers. It's like, what's that, 1,000 virtual credits or 500 virtual credits per sticker by the looks of it. Yeah, I was thinking I might not be on the leaderboard because of the track cut, but I think I still, based on what I've just seen, it looks a bit broken anyway. I might be wrong though. Other people might have done 4 laps and then quit, and that's why it's showing them. I'm just not quite sure. So, but you're absolutely right. The track cut might have ruined it. Okay, so safety harness color. Now, there's a way of looking in the into the interior, if I can remember how to do it. How do we view the interior again? If you guys know, give me a shout, because I've done this before, and it was relatively okay to do. Car controls? No, so that's not really stuff that... Yeah, 100% that could be true, and especially with this. Like, Bathurst was a bit strange, because obviously it's 10 minutes and there's walls, but there was still a number of names on the leaderboard, so that is something. So it could have just been that. There's obviously a few glitches somewhere, because no one's done 10 laps in 10 minutes, but it could definitely be that. I just want to look in the interior, and I know there's a way of doing it, but I can't remember what that is. Switch view, auto switch view, maybe? Yeah. It's not doing... I would have thought it will do something automatically after a bit of time, but... Car control switch view, is that something? Oh. I honestly didn't see the word switch view. I saw ignition, start, and reset as the top. Thank you. That's horrendous for me. Thank you for the advice. Okay, there we go. Interior options. So, seatbelt color we can change. And it's the... It's just it seems to be that seatbelt at the back at the moment. The harnesses may be separate, so like if we go bright green. Seat piping in contrast. So you can set the piping to be a contrasting color. What's that actually changing? It's quite easy to be contrasting from bright green. Seat piping. So that's the I would have thought that would be the bar behind. I don't actually know. Yeah, hiding in plain sight, as always. Has the AI been updated at all? I mean, we can have a look around and see. So far, I've not spotted anything that's specifically different, but it's been a wee while since I was on it, so if you've been playing it more recently, you might spot this. You might spot the UI differences. So what I'll do is I'll go around the menus, and you can have a look. I've not spotted anything obvious, put it that way, but if they say there are changes in the patch notes, there will be some changes. We might just have to go looking for them. That's changing the colour of the trim on the seat, which is cool. So we can do all that. Carbon skin option pack. But it's interior, so that's the... I'm guessing that's like the dashboard and stuff. Oh, yeah, that changed this to carbon fiber. These little panels here. Hey, Piers is here. Hello. AI improvements. Right, we're going to do an AI race at Fuji. Maybe in the Lambo. That'd be fun. I also want to do the... there's lots of things I want to do. The Escort Cosworth at Fuji as well, just to compare it to the Lancia, but that's not really the number one priority. Dark Chrome pack. That's changed... Ah, okay. So you can change that to a darker colour. I mean, these are things that I personally don't care very much about, but I know there are lots of people that really care about all these things. It's like, for me, I pick some nice looking stuff, that's fine, but it's not where the game's gonna, it's not the important part for me, let's put it that way. Anyway, there's lots of things you can do to the interior. Exterior wise, you can change, okay, so there's sticker pack, that's the S, yeah, that did something. Okay, so it's just the sticker on the fin. We'll leave that on. Carbon package and matte finish. Ooh, spot the difference. A matte touch to the carbon fiber bits. So, can't really notice too much. And then carbon package and glossy finish, so I guess it's one of the other. Oh yeah, you can see on the rear wing. So there's a matte carbon fiber finish in the rear wing, or a glossy carbon fiber finish in the rear wing. We'll go matte. Hey Bradley. What features does EVO have that will make people go, yeah, let's play this instead of iRacing R-Factor 2? At the moment, road cars. Good handling for road cars. In the long run, yes, open world is gonna be something. Obviously the financial system, so the currency the fact that you get virtual credits, it's going to be more of like a car enthusiast's kind of experience than iRacing, which is a racing-focused experience. Assetto Corsa EVO will, of course, be racing-focused, but there's going to be more elements of car culture in there, and I think there's going to be a different... It's not like, oh, you know, race well to increase your license and race faster cars. It's going to be like, you know, drive road cars, make money doing races, and then you're buying the car of your dreams and customizing it a little bit. It's kind of got a bit more of the general car enthusiast flavor to it than iRacing and R Factor 2, for example, which doesn't really have much. Yeah, like a Gran Turismo experience on PC, but so far no signs that it's going to be as deep as Gran Turismo in that sense. Obviously, it's very early access with a long way to go. Yeah, and it's a driving simulator rather than a racing simulator, but you can race, of course, and there are race cars, and that's going to be a big part of it online as well, but there's going to be free roam too. Modding is going to be a thing, of course, although the modding, or the thing we've been told about mods, are that they're going to be some sort of approval-based system, so it's going to be official licensed modding, I guess. So that might be different to Assetto Corsa, which, you know, you can just download anything, and regardless of whether it's actually legal or not, and whether the person who made the mod owns the rights to make the mod or is allowed to do that, you can, you know, publish it on a website and download it anyway. So I think some people might be disappointed with the modding when it happens, just because it might be more limited, but it's gonna be fairer and more legal. So we'll have to keep an eye out on all that anyway. I'm just speculating based on what they've said so far. So we'll see. Body color. There's lots of manufacturer options for this. Yes, that's what we want. Proper Lambo colors. Right, it's gonna have to be like old Gallardo style colors. I love it in bright green, but I'm always a bright green fan. That's kind of nice as well. Ooh. This is the most color options I've seen. Looks pretty good in purple. I'm not gonna go traction pink for this. I don't think there's a manufacturer pink that's good. I mean, that's like coral. That's like a Monzo card. Coral. That looks amazing. Oh yeah. I mean, it depends what mood I'm in. Is the color I would go for these things normally. It changes from day to day, but there are lots of really cool colors for this car. So that's exciting. I'm gonna go with my original Gallardo inspired color. Wheels, lots of options. Magnesium or aluminium forged. So magnesium, oh yes. There you go. And you can have different colors, of course. Black, diamond cut. That's cool. What wheels am I gonna go for? Magnesium or, nah, I'll go silver. We'll go for that. Wheel central locking color. Yeah, none of those really suit yellow, do they? So we'll go black. My graphic, or my interior design, or my exterior design skills are not coming through right now. Yeah, it'll also be a place for obscure racing. Yeah, 100%. So, this game's going to have, obviously, more road cars than iRacing, than R Factor 2. It's going to have... there's going to be lots of things added over the years. And it's also got lots of historic stuff coming from what we've seen based on the trailer and stuff like that. They obviously want to include single-seaters at some point, which we don't have yet. Historic racing cars. We obviously saw in Assetto Corsa there were so many, like, Le Mans cars, Group C, things like that. So, yeah, Assetto Corsa EVO is going to be all things like car loving, but with racing as its core. And obviously free roam is... I don't know if free roam will be core, but... I don't know what I just did. I'm trying to see what the STO racing accessories is, but it goes to the interior, so it must be... Is it like the race logic and stuff? Or is it just... Oh, right, that's the drop-down menu. It's just the safety harness color. Which, I mean, is that... Oh, right. Yes, so there's the harness color. Okay, so we'll go yellow. Cool. All right, let's... we've seen some of the stuff here, so let's buy it. Yes, I would like to purchase this Lamborghini. Nice little glitch when you purchase it. And there we go. I believe it's now mine. Right, so should we try an AI race? I feel like I'm up to speed now in the Lambo. I enjoyed that. We can obviously not at Fuji, but I feel comfortable jumping into a race at Fuji. So let's see how the AI are. I'll be learning as I go, of course. We're gonna do a 6-lap race, and I want to see kind of a 5:30 in the evening Fuji, and we'll just see what happens. Not single make. We'll start at the back, and we'll see. Yeah, Michael's right. In terms of the thing that's difficult about mods is, like, a game can produce. The developers of a game can produce amazing content that they spend a lot of money on. They have to spend money on licensing in order to own the rights to produce content for a particular series or a particular car from, like, you know, the 90s or from current day, for example. And there's lots and lots of red tape that these game developers have to get through, and lots of money that needs to be spent. So then they need to get their money back by people obviously buying the content, and that's how the industry works, right? People make cool content for games, people buy DLC or buy the games because of the content, and then game developers or publishers get their money from people buying the game, and then they can make more games. But what happens is, with modding, and this is where the grey area is that people can go, oh, okay, game A has just released this really cool DLC. I'm gonna basically rip the files that whoever, I don't know how to do it, but someone who's modding might go, oh, they've got a really cool car model. I'm gonna take that model, put it into this other game that I'm playing, and then I'm gonna basically say, oh, everyone, you can have that for free. They don't have to go through the licensing red tape that the original developers had to do. They've essentially stolen the model from a different game that they don't own, unless they've spoken to the game developer and there's been licensing agreed, which obviously in some cases licensing's not a problem. Fictional content, never a problem. So then, yeah, that's the that is the problem, because then the game developer that made the mod or made the car in the first place that people are then ripping doesn't get the money from people playing that game because they want to drive that car because someone else has just put it in their own game, or in another game. This is beginning to get convoluted, but hopefully you see the point I'm trying to make about the issue with modding, the grey area with modding. Okay, it's changed to Brands Hatch. Let's do Fuji. We'll do the non-chicane version. Give that a try. There's still a weird glitch where opponent skill, I set it to 100%, and you can see now, I was 100 definitely, and now it's 97, so... Ooh, no idea which is true and which is false. Right. Let's see if the AI is improved. I've not personally read the changelog yet, but I'm hearing from you guys that there have been some changes to the AI, some improvements. Hopefully the audio of the car was okay in that last run when I turned up a bit. So yeah, let's do it. I said no to single make, but it looks like we've got lots of Super Trofeos. You've got my position in the top left as well, so you can see where I'm at. Let's turn off traction control straight away. Okay, so straight away my performance has dropped a bit compared to when I was hot lapping. You can see that immediately. I've not mucked around with any settings, of course. That was questionable, but okay, I'd say. But yeah, the frame rate's the biggest issue at the moment. They're braking way too early. So again, that's on 100 difficulty. Obviously it's lap 1, so AI always tends to be a bit cautious. Okay, that contact is totally my fault. Bad rejoin as well. Okay, car alongside me. Let's just get around this non-chicane version. AI's line was horrendous. That's fine. They were kind of on the inside. So hopefully AI is something. It's something that I was vocal about. I guess for me it was one of the biggest negatives, right, with the first phase of early access with this game. So I'm really hoping that's something that can be worked on and improved in the coming years, or months hopefully, because AI racing is obviously important for a lot of people that don't want to race online, and this is the sort of game with the car culture elements. It's not a game that's designed just for people to race online, it's designed for people to drive offline as well and enjoy cars and all these kind of things. So I do think this game is important to have good AI. In the slipstream, not really gaining much, but he's in the slipstream as well. Don't know where I'm braking. Let's just go a tiny bit later than the AI. Okay, I still made the corner, no bother. Overtook 2 or 3 of them. Behaviour so far of the AI cars has been okay. Speed's still not there, judging on that opening lap, but behaviour has been hard to tell. Nothing crazy yet, but it's another position. The thing I need to work out is whether they know I'm there or not, whether they react to my behaviour, whether they actually treat me like I'm real or like I'm just a ghost. So yeah, the thing with modding and stuff, so obviously the developers are going to have to be on top of modding, so that's why if there's some sort of approval process, like we've seen discussed when we're talking about Rensport, for example, and other games have done that as well. BeamNG, for example, the repository in the game, there is an official game repository, so I guess those mods have to be approved by the developers. And there's also Live for Speed is another one to bear in mind. Now modding, you can download Live for Speed mods on the Live for Speed website and all that through the game, so I guess they've in some way got to be approved. So this has been done before, and it depends on how, we don't know yet how Assetto Corsa EVO is going to go about this. But the thing is, if you call your car like the Warari instead of the Ferrari, if it's the Warari or the, you know, the Porsche Wine 11, I don't know, and you don't put a Porsche logo on there, you put, you know, a Porsche logo, I'm pretty sure that's fine. Like that's not, there's no grey area there. If you're not, you know, if you're using, okay, I don't think Porsche are going to sue you. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's, if you're not actually taking someone else's licensed thing and you're just making something similar, which is what a lot of game developers do to avoid huge licensing costs, right? That's why some games are not licensed in terms of their content. BeamNG, for example, not licensed vehicles, but some amazing kind of fictional vehicles that are inspired clearly by real vehicles. And then that takes away all the issues. So it depends if there's going to be more of a focus on that side of things, or if they're going to, you know, do approved mods or things like that, where maybe someone makes a mod for a car and then Kunos can go to the car manufacturer and say, you know, are you happy with this? I don't know how that's, I mean, this is all, as I say, complete speculation of what they could do, but that's just going to have to play out in time. So yeah, that's me up to now, we're lap 3, I'm up to P4, I mean look at this, so I can just go send it down the inside. Again, hardest difficulty, it still made the apex, no bother at all. Came out of the corner, so they're still too slow. They're still too slow. But behaviour-wise, I've not seen them do anything crazy yet, but then I've kind of been overtaking them. I think I've been putting in fairly, relatively clean overtakes, so maybe if I try and like race one closely instead of just sending it down the inside, let's see if they treat me like a human being. ABS working nicely. These front two seem to have a little more pace, which is encouraging. Can I actually catch them? Because if the front two AI cars are faster, it's just a case of why aren't the others? I mean, this guy, he's a bit slow. Yeah, he's too slow. Right, let's see if he knows I'm here. If I just kind of race him side by side a little bit. I'm not going to try and overtake him, I'm just gonna kind of be around him and see what he does. So if I box him in, does he stay there? Yeah, he lifted. Okay, so the awareness was certainly there. He didn't plow into the side of me. He kind of backed off a little. It's Assetto Corsa EVO is the game I'm playing right now. If you've just joined the stream, hello and welcome. Hopefully you're having a nice day. This is the latest update to Assetto Corsa EVO that's just dropped about an hour and a half ago, something like that. which is 2 new cars, this Lamborghini Huracan STO, plus the Lancia Delta Integrale Evolution 2, and Fuji Speedway, which is the track I'm driving around right now. That's also brand new to the sim. All of these things had been announced from the get-go, so none of these things are a surprise. Oh, exterior sound. That's a great point. There you go. Do some chase cam drifting, shall we? I like the sounds. The gearbox sound there was great. Obviously from a chase cam, it's always going to be a bit different. It sounds familiar. If you're an ACC player, this chase cam sound is very familiar. Similar sort of style. Let's see how the AI behaves. If I just, again, do the same thing as with the last one. Let's try and actually battle him a little bit and see how he behaves. See if he pretends I'm not there or not. So he's going to brake here. Yep. Okay, so that's the same as the last one. So he brakes. So I'm just going to slow down a bit. Let's see if he can overtake me. Okay, we lost a lot of time, but... yeah, you can see him, like, kind of swerving to stay out of the way. If I just kind of block him to the outside, let's see. Yeah, so obviously losing loads and loads of time, but didn't drive into me as if I wasn't there. But I mean, I feel like I could just drive around really slowly, like, not even on the throttle, and look. Okay, eventually they get past me. But there's no attempt. Still not on the throttle. Not, I'm leaving loads of room. Anyone? There we go. So, yeah, it's like, that's not racing. That's not AI racing. It's a very familiar thing, like, it happens in games, right? Let's try this view for a little bit. It's a kind of common behavior that you do see. Oh, I'm too late in the brakes here, aren't I? Oh no. Yeah, it's a common trait that they kind of just get in a big queue. But obviously, if you're racing the AI, you kind of want them to be able to, like, behave in a way that feels somewhat real. But hopefully just something that's, again, early access. It's not an excuse, it's a caveat to say that, you know, that's definitely something they can work on in the future. Maybe just not the highest priority at this stage. Oh, I just looked at the chat and I drove onto the grass. So this is on 100 as well. Like, this is, even though it says 97, this is the hardest difficulty you can select right now. So speed is still not there either. So AI improvements, maybe their awareness is improved, maybe they're not, you know, trying to spin me out as much as they, you know, they at least acknowledge my existence a bit more, but maybe now it's too much the other way. Who knows? Hard to say. Yeah, this is max AI. This is 100%. Although there's a bit of a glitch and it always says 97% rather than 100, so I don't actually know if it's 100%, but either way it's the highest that can be selected at this moment. So yeah, that's the thing. If you're a reasonably experienced racer, you can't have a good AI race, a good competitive AI race. And there we go. Shall we have a wee look to see if there's anything else that's been going on here? I still, oh yeah, okay, consumables is like tires and stuff like that, but I gained more than I lost, so that's fine. Just go for a replay just to see. When I was holding up everyone, let's just see what the behavior was. Yeah, here we go. Get some exterior sounds. It's only early access. Yeah, if I select 99%, it changes to 97. Yes, Michael. 100%, doesn't matter what I do, as long as I go, like, I try and race in 100, and it always just changes it in the graph, in the UI to 97% when I actually load the race. So, no idea whether this is 100 or 97. So yeah, this is me racing against max AI difficulty, and this is me not on the accelerator, all the way up through the last corner. Look at this. It's like a formation lap. So the car on the outside, he's on the outside, he's got loads of space, he could just accelerate, but because he's kind of in my, and you'll see here, just he ducks out far enough now, and he goes for it. So yeah, not great. But looks alright. Performance-wise, that race wasn't as good as the hot lapping. It was definitely worse on lap 1, got better. I'd say that, to me, was very similar to how it was pre-today's update. So, let's say inconclusive as to whether or not there are big performance improvements. Maybe. Yeah, that's cool. It'd be cool if you could do some sort of, like, cost-based decision-making. That replay's kind of jumping a little bit at the moment as well, which is a shame, because the replays can look really good. Anyway, that's Fuji, that's the AI, that's the Lamborghini. We can explore, there's a few things we could do. We can either jump back at Fuji and try out the Escort to see if it's quicker than the Lancia. I think I'd be quite interested personally to know. And then it gives you another chance to see the circuit if you've just joined the stream. Or we can do another one of the new special events. That's also an option. I just want to see, I don't think there are new licenses. So it's still the same licenses. Nothing's changed on that front. Which we didn't expect there to be new licenses, but just in case there were, I went through them this morning and just did them all to make sure, just in case we unlock some sort of new level with a new circuit. But none of the licenses have actually changed either to, like, none of them have been changed. So nothing's changed in terms of licenses at all on this update. But again, that's kind of what we expected, so that's okay. Game offline. Should we try, should we explore, let's explore another special event, see if we can actually set a time. I mean, we could do Fuji in the wet in the Lancia. Not done any wet driving here. And that kind of ticks both boxes. There's also the Amira at Imola, which would be pretty cool. I just think that's an awesome combo, but it's not new, it's just a new event. Let's, yeah, Fuji Hot Stint, that's what I'm thinking as well. That's what I'm thinking as well. Let's have a look at the leaderboard. If the leaderboard is working, I'll try my best to keep it legal and see if we can actually set a relevant time. It's only a 10-minute hot stint, this one, not 20, so I think it's worth a go. Try out the Lancia in 4-wheel drive in the drizzle, which we haven't done. See what Fuji looks like in the damp. Let's see. Yes, so we've got, here we go. So we've got 7 people that have done 5-lap runs, and that's all seems to be working. So I think we give this a go, and if we keep it clean, we don't have any off tracks, which might really be a pain. Yeah, maybe it works. So between 10 minutes 32 and 11:11. Let's do it. Vehicle setup, anything we can do. It's damp. I've not driven the car in the damp, so it's going to take some adjusting. I'm not going to do anything to the setup. I just want to have a look to see what you can do. So you can change the fuel. Let's take the fuel down. Is that liters? Don't know. I don't know if it's liters or laps. We'll go 26. 26 somethings should be enough. 10 minutes, it's only 5 laps. Can you change the compound? That's a good point. Because it's wet, it'll change things a little bit. So normally you could change the compound. But right now, is it fuel and strategy? Yeah, you can, sorry. So you can go supercar, road, or eco. So we're just going to stick with road. Because I think the supercar one is maybe not good in the wet. Also, it's not for the car. So I'm not gonna try and break the game. I don't know if it does or not. Or if the tires give you more grip. But let's stick to the default. And you know what? Let's just stick to the default fuel as well. Or if I cancel this, just because most people will jump in this hot stint, let's be honest, and drive it as it is. So let's keep it fair. 32 fuel, road tires. One more reminder of the leaderboard. 10:32. So that's an average of 2 minutes and 6 seconds a lap, pretty much. So if I can average, oh god, roughly 2 minutes 6, I'll have a chance of being P1. So I think I'll get quicker as it goes though, because obviously I've not driven this car in the wet yet. Oh, it feels so different to the Lambo. I was in this car before I jumped in the Lamborghini, and it was superb. It felt amazing. So I'm still expecting it to feel good, but it doesn't feel like the Huracan. I'm going to use the sequential again as well. Just a reminder, I have an H-pattern shifter. I would use it, but let's tighten that up. I would use it, but I don't have a clutch pedal on the rig right now. Right, soaking wet, so we'll brake a bit earlier. ABS kicking in nice and early. I'm expecting understeer, but not much oversteer or anything because it's 4-wheel drive, so even if I get the power down, the only oversteer I'm going to get is if I turn in too sharply and unsettle the car. Oh, and there's the understeer. I might have to restart my stint already. Okay, that was a practice run. That was a practice run. I said it would happen. Let's get some valid laps in. I want to set a representative time. I could shift without the clutch. You're not wrong. Yeah, do you know what? I was thinking that as well, but I didn't really know how that would go. Let's do it. Let's do it properly. Let's just assign this. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, that's not actually, for some reason it's immediately given me a, hang on. That's not working either. Shifter gear, let's just try that. Okay. It might be because I need to do like a repeat thing. No, that's just, no. Okay, having issues with that right now. Let's, I will do with, it's not important for this, so let's, I'll come back to that. let's not muck around working that out right now. Yeah, you always have to shift from neutral, yeah. So let's, I will come back to it. Let's just go sequential for now. There's some settings you can change there in terms of how you activate it. So it could be like repeat presses and stuff, and there's some options that I could explore to try and get that working. But right, we're gonna go sequential, and this time I'm gonna take it easier in the first lap. I promise. I also didn't check whether it's chicane Fuji or or non-chicane Fuji. So on lap 1 we'll have an answer. You can see the frame rate not quite as good now in the wet as it was in the dry for the hot lapping. I pinky promise, yeah, I swear I'll take it easier. I really will try. Okay, I think I found that's slightly too late on the brakes for turn 1, so dial it back slightly. What was it, 206 roughly I need to average? So first lap of 208 or something might be good. That's got it in there. You have to turn in earlier than you think, so just bear that in mind when you come to do this yourselves. We'll see if the delta comes back after the first lap. Curbs are slippy. Right, chicane or no chicane? Place your bets. I'm gonna have to treat it like it is the chicane. Game's gone offline. It's no chicane. I've seen it just in time and I saw the comment, thank you. It needs to be second gear though. Thank you, Creeper Green. Slightly off the racing line, see if there's more grip. Something I still need to explore. 147 at the moment. Ooh. You were absolutely right. Good guess. Thank you. I saw the little arrows pointing left as I was braking, so I was able to kind of half commit at least. Oh, it's going to be good for lap time, I think. It's a long straight, though. No, it's not. Yeah, look at the difference. 207. I said 208 first lap. It's going to be 209. Yeah, okay. This is doable, but it's going to be tough. Let's give it a go. Turn in really early. Oh no, stay on. That's half a second gone. Anyway, obviously every mistake you make in the wet in a car like this, you're gonna lose. The time's gonna be compounded really, because you can't get back up to speed as quickly. It's a powerful road car, don't get me wrong, but relative to its age and its type, not relative to like sim racing, where we get absolutely inundated with performance supercars and GT3s, etc. It's mesmerizing to look at the wipers. I need to not look at the comments when I'm literally understeering towards an off track. The rain looks amazing. I'm a big fan. Right, second gear. Oh, I can feel the lock up in the wet. Can definitely attack that one more. No evidence so far that wet lines are grippier, so I'm kind of just ignoring that theory at the moment. It's been a cleaner lap. I really like the fact as well that you can actually see the pedal work. So if you look at where the steering wheel is, you can actually see the foot, the race boot of the driver, and you can see how much pedal there. So when I lift slightly, the animation lifts slightly as well. I think that's such a nice touch. Yeah, I'll try not to cut. Okay, this is going to be a slightly better lap, but I keep on disconnecting. I'm not going to average a 206 here. Like this is going to be a 209 as well. Not as fast as I hoped it was. So we're not going to get P1. Oh, turn. Oh dear, no delta either. It was just... I thought I was braking at the same point, but I must have been slightly later. You definitely can drift this car, like the trailer. I did that enough in the Lamborghini. And obviously in the wet, I can slide it into the corners by chucking it, but it's four-wheel drive, so if you're sideways in this car, it's because you've done something wrong, unfortunately. So if I want to drift it, I have to basically unbalance it completely on the entry, and I'm going to lose all of my momentum. Yeah, I did think so. I did notice that, Tom. Like, I've actually got the EVO 3 parts on this car, I think, which is lower down and stuff. But I mean, it just looked like it lowered the car. I didn't see many other changes, but there were 3 different things that it changed essentially. So, need to look into that for sure. And yeah, you're right. Like, this was obviously the final ever Delta Integrale. So the fact that there's an EVO 3 variation of some form is kind of cool, but I don't know like what that means. Is it legitimate? Is this what the EVO 3 was going to be, or is it just like some sort of terminology to say like, listen, these are upgraded parts? Nope. No. Okay, I definitely lost huge time there because I had to lift going onto the main straight, but I did not want to get off track. Yeah, so it's an unreleased EVO 3 prototype that didn't make production. Is that what I'm driving now then? Because I bought the car with the EVO 3 spec. So that might be what I'm driving right now. Ah, amazing. Yeah, please ask them. 210 on that lap. I'm getting worse, guys. And that's shocking as well. Oh, it's been bad. Just when I wanted to do well with the leaderboard. understeer. Maybe the tire change was the way to go. Who knows? So many frame rate issues there. I don't know if you saw that. And then it's cleared up again. It just seems to be kind of sporadic. Yeah, I'm understeering crazy amounts, which is what you'd expect, but I don't think 206s are in the tank at the moment for sure. I'm barely managing to maintain 209s, and this lap's not going to be any better. Nope, no. Understeer, plowed straight off. Ah, I've ruined it. I've ruined it again on the leaderboard. I said I wouldn't do it, and I did it. Might have to try one more leaderboard for redemption, and then we'll call it. Yeah, look at that. As soon as I put the power on early, it just skates off. I know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It was inevitable, but I really can't hold myself to my own word when it comes to that sort of stuff. I'll do one more hot stint after a 10-minute one. Maybe the Amira in if it's 10 minutes. We'll see if we can redeem ourselves and actually set a time. That's going to be a terrible lap. 2:12. We'll see what happens. I'll finish up anyway. So, made the corner. Be interesting to have a go experimenting with setups and tires though, doing this. I mean, I know, it was so stupid. I was on lap 4. I didn't need to. I wasn't even going to set a good time either. It was just, I obviously didn't mean to do that. I just put the power down and it just went. Like, and that's the tricky thing is, like here for example, like that would have been over as well. I just slid straight on, and I did not expect it at all. I was attacking it the same amount as the first lap. But obviously when you're pushing, you're once you've committed in the wet and you start understeering, there's nothing you can do to save it either. So it is tricky. But I'm not 100% convinced yet that an off-track would... Like, I would have thought maybe an off-track would just add like a penalty to your stint. I think that's what it did in Assetto Corsa Competizione. I think you got like penalised time penalties or something with off-tracks. I might be wrong. But yeah. Anyway, that got worse and worse and worse. Let's see what happens. It's the last lap, this one, so we'll try something better. We'll try a more high octane combo next, because I think this car on this track, the track's too big for the car anyway, but I really like the model of the circuit, and I really like the car as well, as I was saying earlier. In the wet, it's just more frustrating, and with no one to race against, it's a slow car relatively. It's just not that's not the most enjoyable hot stint, I think, unless you maybe find playing around with the setup improves things. Let's see the leaderboard. Let's see. Yeah, so we didn't make the leaderboard, so I think it could well be you'd need to have a perfect run to make the leaderboard, which is fair enough. Harsh, but fair enough. What I will do, actually, just before I go and do this other one, is just see what happens if I throw on supercar tires. I'm just curious. I don't know if it's going to make it way worse, way better. I want to see if suddenly I have grip. There's obviously more changes you can make, but we're not going to explore all of that right now. We just want to check the compounds. I'd kind of assumed that hot stint mode was some sort of fixed setup or something, but let's see. Okay, still understeering. This is a experiment. I can't speak. I'll try that again. This is experimentation time. Hopefully, we can learn a little bit about what the supercar tires do in the wet compared to the road tires the car is designed to be on. Okay. That seemed a little better. I made the apex no problem. Oh, the Japan update's late. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it still not available for you? Ooh, okay. Oh, wow, I'm gone. Touch the curb on the braking. Don't do that. I'd say this feels slightly more grippy, if anything, but it's very similar. Like, maybe this is gonna... I mean, it might be slower, but it feels just a tiny bit better. So, let's see what lap 1 brings in terms of pace. Like, I can get the car in there, and I didn't make the apex, but it kind of felt a little more friendly. So is the update just not happened in Japan yet then on Steam? Is that what you mean? Or do you mean late in the evening? I don't know what time it is in Japan right now. Almost got oversteer. You barely have to brake for this left-hander because in this car because you're going uphill, so the speed kind of gets scrubbed anyway because you're steering, you're turning uphill. You barely need to touch the brakes. Oh, come on. Oh, grip on the exit. I feel like I've got the radio on now as well with the music. Let's see what the lap time is. It's gonna be so similar, isn't it? 3, 4, 5. Yeah, almost identical. Well, I'll tell you what, it's just over a second faster, so it's not completely identical. I do have a little bit less fuel as well. Didn't touch the curb under braking, but I still got it wrong. I feel half committed to the experiment now because I've not had an off track, and it's slightly quicker. No. It's terrifying when you start getting the understeer. Alright, come on. Let's see what this lap is, and then we'll decide whether to continue. Hit straight with all of the... I think it's the grandstand on the left in the pit building, but that's where I drop FPS. That decides it. fifth gear wasn't the solution on the pit straight there. Right, guys, just before we wrap up, I'm going to do one more run. I'm going to do a special event, and I'm going to do the Lotus Emira at Imola, because it's a new event, part of the new update. Obviously the car and track's not new, but I think it'll just be a lot of fun. It's 10 minutes, so it's not too long. I just want to try and get a time on the board. I know I said that already, and I've every single time gone off the track. But, you know, you've got to try these things, and eventually it'll work, and it'll be great. We should have, so obviously we'll turn off traction control and stuff if we've got it. Yeah, I'm not really sure. So we've got supercar tires or hypercar tires. We'll go. I think it's so difficult to know. Is it cheating to go for grippier tires? I mean, it seems like it's open setup at the moment. Maybe it doesn't work with the car. I don't know. Now we'll keep it authentic. Gonna be boring. Default setup. Leaderboard. 2 people have done runs and they're very closely matched. 2 and 6 laps. But so if I can complete laps cleanly, I guess the one thing we can actually find out from this experiment is whether or not the leaderboards actually work if you do clean laps, and that'll only work if I keep it clean, which I almost did on that first test in the Lamborghini. So we've got different car modes here as well. So we're going to stick in the race mode, track mode. Sorry, traction control off. Need to work out my braking point. Let's try 200. 200's a tiny bit early. Oh, it's nice to have grip again. And better FPS. So, I'll let you know how the Lotus feels after this run, then. I think it's going to be great, because I think this sort of car, this kind of high-performance sports car, supercars, they just, they're, for me, where Assetto Corsa EVO is at. I have driven this Emira before, not for long, so I haven't formed huge opinions of it, but so far I think so good in terms of how it feels. And in this run so far, it's a bit safer, it's a lot safer feeling than the ST, the Lamborghini Huracan STO that I just drove earlier, which is the new car. This feels less lively at the rear, and I've got traction control off, but it feels like there's some sort of, maybe there's electronic stability. That might be it. Ah, yeah, road tires. So this is the default setup when you click on the hot stint mode that I'm driving at right now. So at least if you guys want to give this a go, you can kind of compare it. I do think maybe hypercar tires will make you faster, but that just feels a bit wrong. Being able to select the compound of a different car rather than just, you know, soft within the car you're driving, for example. Also, the car's telling me to shift really early in the rev range, so I don't quite know what's going on there. Try and use all the curbs without cutting. I think that's important. A little bit wide. Yeah, it doesn't really. The Lamborghini, I could just nail the throttle and I could drift it out of the corner. It had a lot more power than the Emira. It's more of a sports car maybe than a supercar. It's kind of in between, isn't it, the Emira? But it does feel, it's a lot more stable than the Lambo, and it's got no traction control. I do wonder if there is some sort of electronic stability control that I don't have a button to turn off at the moment. But I could probably pause it and assign one, but I think I'm just going to drive it as it is for now. Yeah, no return of the deltas. Maybe it's a button. maybe I pressed something. I only pressed buttons on the wheel. I didn't press anything else. So I can maybe just like let me try. I already went through them all again though and tried, and I couldn't get anything back. The only thing I did do is turn on the pit lane speed limiter by accident. No, I've just pressed all the buttons I have here and nothing changed. Maybe it's just hot stunt mode though. Was the because we haven't done a... Was it there for the race? I don't even know if Delta's normally there for the race. That didn't do anything, did it? That definitely didn't do anything. Yeah, I've got no idea. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not gonna turn on the pit limiter this time. Just can't get the rear out like I could in the Lamborghini to get me out of the corners with power. I'm kind of having to do things a little bit more sensibly. Yeah, that's definitely got some ESC. Have I changed the mode again? Oh yeah, I was out. Oops, I went from race mode to sport mode. That was silly. That's what happens when I press all the buttons. Yeah, so sport, track. Yeah, it's track mode we want. Maybe that's why it felt. Yeah, it says, I think ESC's off because it says on the right hand side off for like a kind of stability icon on the dashboard. So I think it is off. I think it was worse there in Sector 1 because I was in sport mode. I think I turned on some sort of stability. Five minutes to go. Imola, beautiful track to throw a road car around. Amazing flow, tricky braking zones. So it's not easy. This corner, for example, in some cars is flat, in some cars it isn't. It's easy flat in the Emira. But it's such an awesome track, and I also just love the way the curbs are as well. It feels like every corner naturally tells you whether you can cut it or not. Like it almost the flow of the circuit and the way the curbs are formed, where the lines are, where the kind of Italian flag paint colours are, it kind of feels like you know the track limits without even knowing the track limits, if that makes any sense. It gives you a sense of where you should and shouldn't be. Hello. Oh god. Again, shouldn't have looked at the comments as I was entering the corner. Yeah, there you go. So no stability control on when you're in track mode. Welcome to the stream bedlam. This is now, we've gone from testing the new content to just testing some of the new special events, because they're also, of course, just arrived on the game today. Close. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. I would love Mugello. Game performance. So I was actually saying earlier, I jumped in this game this morning. This is before the update, just to pass, just to redo all the missions basically, because I'd not done them since the beta build that I first completed them all on. And I was actually thinking the performance maybe was better because everything just looked really clean and smooth and it felt really good, a bit like it is right now. But then that was obviously the update happened. Nothing changed on that front. It still felt really good when I was just driving on my own around the track. So like this, for example, performance is super. In the dry, in one car, absolutely great. As soon as it starts raining, it goes downhill. FPS drops, as I found in the Lancia 10 minutes ago. And also, as soon as I add AI cars, again, performance drops. So I would say I haven't noticed any improvement in my short testing so far. I've not mucked around with settings, I've just kind of left things as they were, so it's always been consistent, and the results have felt consistent as well, unfortunately. So it just depends on your hardware, depends on your settings. But hopefully it's better for you, or if not, it's better soon. Yeah, if the patch notes don't have it, it's probably not going to be there. Because if I'd made improvements in that area, I would want to shout about it. Or maybe I'd want people to work out for themselves, but I think I'd want to encourage people back onto the sim. Alright, 2 laps to go, guys. I've managed to keep it legal so far, which I've not done on any other hot stint, so we might actually set a time for a leaderboard. Oh, I could definitely go quicker around here as well. If I was able to just kind of learn where all the limits were. But let's not do that right now. Let's get to the end. Interestingly, it tells me my total race time at the top as well, 7:52.9 at the moment. So we'll know. I can't actually remember what the times were for the 2 times that have been set. Was it 46 and 48 maybe? 11, 46 and 48? This has been a really poor lap. Any of you watching the stream can remember, was it 11, 46 and 48 we're trying to beat here to get top of the leaderboard? 1 more lap to go. It's going to be very close if that's the case. Oh yeah, I need a 57 to get in amongst it. Oh, wrong braking zone. Oh no! I hit the brakes at the 250, not the 200, so that's my chance gone. Silly, silly. So much easier when you're going down a straight and you know what you're looking for at Imola, because the first braking zone's a corner. If you panic and you see a board and you go, wait, that might have been my board, you hit the brakes, it's just a disaster. Just the nature of the first corner at Imola. Definitely half a second a lap at Aqua Minerale anyway, to be found. How's the Delta? Yeah, oh, it would be so good if we had some gravel. Maybe in the free roam. Delta's great fun to drive. Really, really good fun to drive. I didn't enjoy it as much in the wet. And also, to be fair, it was Fuji, which is such a... It's an awesome track, but it's maybe better for like higher speed cars and also for racing. Because hot lapping at Fuji in a fast car is great, but in the Delta, it was fun in the dry, not so fun in the wet. Just too slow, too understeery, too painful. But overall, it feels really good. The weight transfer is great. You can feel the front pitch shin. You can see it on the replay as well. There's so much weight transfer going on, but it's really safe and easy to drive. 11:48.7. So I could have maybe... That might have cost me a position. That if the leaderboard works, that little lack of attention into the first braking zone. Whew. Yeah, it was a little depressing, wasn't it? It was probably depressing to watch as well. It was a bit depressing to drive. But great car. Love the car. And I think for like online racing or something, that's going to be huge fun. I mean, imagine it on gravel and ACEVO, that'd be great. But that's not what the game's about at the moment. Yeah, I'm still not on the leaderboard. It's 11:54 and 56. So if the leaderboards actually worked, I think I'd be first with an 11:48. And I didn't go off track at all, so clearly the off tracks aren't the issue that I thought they might have been, if that makes any sense. Maybe they are still an issue, but I feel like an off track wouldn't completely ruin the stint, it would just add a penalty. But I might be wrong. So, yeah. We'll take it. So yes, leaderboards don't seem to be functioning as they should at the moment, which is a bit of a shame. Maybe there's a delay. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. We can find out. If I go back to... Yeah, maybe there is a delay. If I go to the Suzuka Lambo one, see if my time's there now. Because I only had one off track. I don't think it is. Also, game offline. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. I've had that game offline disconnection quite a lot, actually. I think that's like 6 or 7 times. Okay, so my time is definitely not there. Be good to go back and remember what time I actually set across my 10 laps. I know I was drifting around, and I also hit the pit limiter at one point, but yeah, it's definitely not there. Oh well, don't quite know how that works. I'll jump one more time back into the one I just did, and see if maybe a 2-minute delay is enough for it to have added my time, because I definitely didn't do an off track. Ah, the servers don't always record the lap times. Okay. Okay, yeah, so this is not a new thing then. This is obviously, leaderboards have been there, they're just not quite functioning right. Maybe it's if you disconnect at some point. I'm still not there. Oh well. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much going to round off the stream, to be honest. I had fun as always. It was really cool to test out the new cars. I think I was expecting to enjoy them both in different ways, and that definitely happened, but what I would say the surprise was how much I enjoyed the Huracan. Like, that car is a huge amount of fun to drive. Even, like, the Amira there, which I would say is a fun car to drive. It's good to haul around. It's good in this game. Doesn't reach the fun of the Lambo. Like, the Lambo is just chuckable. You can get the power down, slide out the corner, but because of the downforce, it doesn't attack you. You know, you can slide it and actually feel comfortable. It's almost like a sports car in many ways, a powerful sports car. And I just found it really, really good fun. So for me, that's got to be the highlight. Fuji Speedway is obviously a good circuit. This seems like a really good version of Fuji. I like the way the curbs are. I like the look of it. I think visually it's very pretty. A shame about the performance issues on the straight and the wet, and the AI definitely don't seem to be racing any better around there than they have been on other circuits. So yeah, maybe that's a game-wide issue rather than a Fuji issue, but it's feedback anyway. So thank you so much for joining me on the stream. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Also, shout out, you may see as well, down there, Go Setups. We're currently in a partnership with Go Setups as well, so you can go and check them out. Obviously, they don't do setups for Assetto Corsa EVO just yet, but they do setups for all of your favourite sims, so go and check out their website, check out the Traxion website as well for maybe some promotions, maybe some discounts, who knows, and see what's going on there. But if you want to get good, high-quality, professional race setups on your favourite sims, then go and check out Go Setups. So yeah. I think that's pretty much going to be it for this stream. Thank you all for watching. Of course, tomorrow we will have a video on the channel. It's going to be Beginner's Guide Part 3, where we look at turning off the driving assist. So if you are relatively new to sim racing or wanting to improve your driving with a very basic conceptualization of what assists actually do and why you should turn them off, and also how you can learn to cope without assists, then definitely check out that video tomorrow. And I'll be streaming again next week. We'll be away Monday, Tuesday, doing some video filming on location at the Traxion studio. But then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'll be back. And I'm thinking at the moment I'll be streaming on Wednesday evening, doing some, or Wednesday afternoon, 3 o'clock UK time, doing some Le Mans Ultimate races. But all of that is still to be confirmed. And as soon as I know, I'll schedule the stream. You can see on the YouTube channel when it's going to be, and you can check out obviously the social media channels that Traxion have. Subscribe so that you don't miss it. Thank you to everyone who's been watching, and everyone who's been joining in the chat as well. It's been great to have you on board. And yeah, we shall see you next time. Have a good day.